Okay. Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. All right, that's good. Okay. So, woohoo, woohoo. Um, I'm gonna have such a busy week. It's such a busy weekend. Such a busy weekend. Okay. Let me see. Where's I lost my headphones yesterday. I don't know where I put them. Who is this? Hold on a second.
It's just things like that.
Hmm. There are some times when I wish I got um mm, wow. It's just crazy. Okay. Where am I today? Flawless Friday. Flawless Friday. All right, let's see. I gotta fix that thing. All right. Sunday's show is gonna be mad abbreviated. It's gonna be cut down because I gotta sit down and spend some time writing up something. Um and the best day for me to do it is Sunday. And I'll be able to dig back and forth. All right. I was gonna ask y'all for some help with something, but now that I think about it, hey DOD, now that I think about it, I'm probably best just looking up myself, um, and giving a time frame, and that's it. So DOD, I haven't been watching this impeachment stuff, right? I really haven't, which is probably not a good citizen. It means I'm not being a good citizen. The reason why I say not being a good citizen is because one should be informed about their environment. But when Agent Orange, hey Miss G, when Agent Orange took office, I strategically decided not to pay Agent Orange any attention. After I spent months upset like everybody else and hoping that they got that special prosecutor to look into his campaign dealings and stuff. I was all stoked. And then I started, like, I felt like I was building hatred. And I was talking to groups of people. And in some part of the conversation, once upon a time, I discovered that folk that were upset, folk of color who were upset, didn't even vote. So now when I begin my conversations on politics, I start with, do you vote? Yes, I do. And if you don't vote, then we don't talk about politics. I don't talk about politics with that person. I make a mental note about it and I don't do politics with that person. Because what am I talking to you for? Now, I have been like a little bit what do you call it? Conscious to ask, can you vote? If I'm speaking to somebody that I think might have a record. And I did discover in that conversation when I asked, did you vote? Um, and I found out no. People normally come out and say, no, I didn't vote because I was a felon. So then I had to be like, oh, let me look at your state. Let me look at where you at. You can vote. And I've helped people um, advocate so they can vote the next time around. So it's not a lose-lose conversation, but it's a good conversation to have because if you feel this eminent against it or you feel this way about it, then you should be participating in government so that you have a voice in it. And the voice that you first launch is by putting people in office. And I remind people that judges are voted in many states and many jurisdictions, and you need to exercise that. The power of the vote is important. Um, ASIO, and that's that. Okay. That's what voting is. It's important. It has its benefits. It reaps what it is. But because of that, I fell back off of a lot of those conversations um, because I'm talking to people that didn't participate in the process. So that was crazy. But I was happy to catch one of your lives, at least one of your lives in a long time. I haven't seen a lot in a long time. That's it. Okay. I really didn't have much more to talk about today. Other than I was gonna be busy. I did. Oh, I will go back into the other video. I gotta listen to that video from yesterday. That reminds me. But the website to file, and I went to look at the website, so it is legit. It's too legit. Too legit to quit. Hey, hey, hey. I know. Then I felt so like downplayed. Like he was like, you know what you did, DOD? You did the cap locks. I saw the message. He said, I appreciated you coming over. And Nightbot said, why you cap locking? What up? What up? Good. What good, peoples? Um, yeah, so I was talking about Agent Orange. Who's CB? Who CB? Who's CB? Good morning, Mr. Brown. I don't know how you got here, but you just missed what I was saying to DOD about the and I think it's an interesting conversation to have with people because I was saying how I stopped watching the Donald Trump craziness. Um oh 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 y'all killing me right now. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. The important part about it is having conversations with people um who are angry about decisions that they can affect. But I know that we got a group of people, right? There are a lot of people of color that do not vote. And if you do not vote, how could you be so angry in this process? It's a thing that you just ignore. You know, when I was a Jehovah Witness, they do not vote. I was not upset about shit going on. When I got mad about shit going on around me, I was like, yo, why we don't vote? And so that's when I was a kid. Um, I've heard the name before, fellas. I'm just saying, oh, I don't know the politics over in there. Right. If you There are some people that just don't. But I was talking to folk at the time when Agent Orange got in office, and they was so, and don't get me wrong, these and it was weird. So let me tell you how weird this is. But now I remember how I met these people that I speak to. I was in the parent world because I sat on the parent board. I sat on parent boards, right? And I always wondered how these folks got in. And now it made sense to me after Agent Orange got in office, but it didn't make sense to me back in those days. Back in those days, we had an election process in the Board of Education here in New York. You have a PTA in each school. The PTA elects a president. You either have a parent association or a parent teacher association. And the parents, if it's a parent association, the parents vote for their leadership. If it's a parent teacher association, the parent teachers vote. Um, yeah, you know. So I met parents in that group, right? I was elected, but there were some parents that were selected. So this is how that works out. I get elected to hold a position, and there's zillions of meetings that the PTA president attends. The PTA president, this is what bogs down parent leadership in New York City. So the PTA president attends meetings at their school and put together meetings at their school, right? For development, they also belong to an organization that is the district level because the schools form in the district level. And then there's a district level parent association, right? There's the district parents, right? So they form a group, right? From that group, so all the PTA presidents in that district go to this district uh district leadership, whatever the fuck they call them. I don't know, I forgot what they call them. But on the district level, so district, I was in District 28 at the time. District 28 parent leaders, right? Then they vote a president. And that president goes to what is called the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Board. So when I became a PTA president at my school and went to the district level, we found out that at our district level, we had no representation on the Parent Advisory Board for the chancellor, because our whoever we elected as president for our parent group on the district level didn't attend those meetings. So she appointed me as her designee, and then I went to that meeting at the chancellor's parent advisory, but I didn't have any vote capacity because I was not elected. So that was the first thing I had to take care of, was not being elected, but serving over there. So one of the first things I said is anybody who's representing that district should be able to vote for that district because that district is present at the table and deserves a vote. Just because I am that person's proxy. So I had to introduce the terminology proxy to people that know better. And it was Manhattanites. All the people that live up here in Harlem and the East Side and the West Side and the Lower Side or whatever we're sitting at the table with the chancellor making decisions for the school system. And we was not at the table because we didn't know. So once I got there representing District 27, I went back to District 28, which was my home district that I grew up in, and spoke to, she used to be my guidance counselor who became something at the district level. And I went in all the time to speak to her when I had parent issues, because I loved her as when she was my guidance counselor. She actually was one of the women of color who actually sat down, very snooty woman, who but actually sat down and gave me tough love when I was a teenager. You know, she was very stern with me when I was a teenager, and she told me I was very intelligent. I had the wrong friends. She don't understand how I am down with everybody. But she predicted by 21 I'd be dead with the folks I was hanging with. She was just like, when we pulled up some reports and we saw you was in it, she said, I had to come and sit down. You are leadership at the school, because I was leadership at the time. I was secretary of the student government. Hey Gab, I was secretary of the student government. I was in non-SP, so I was already, I was skipped a grade. So, the school only had 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, but the 9th graders were part of the skip class, and she was just like, I can't fucking believe it. She was just like, I can't believe it. Like, I just can't believe it. And I was like, I can't believe it either. But I had to, explain, how it gets around. And that was because, honestly, it's because my mother was a foster mother, and we had kids from everywhere and anywhere come live with us. And that means they lived with us temporarily or permanently or for a significant period of time. And when they left out and went on to other places, they still had love for me. So, I built up a network of people just because of that. And this is why I feel a certain way about the 80s. But anyway, the parent group, that the parents that I met up with were all selected, like I was selected. They never were voted because they don't vote. And different religions don't practice it, and they don't vote, but they have animus between some stuff that's going on. T, how are you on time? Now, this is what I'm going to say to y'all, and I want y'all to listen very closely. The bullshit in Jersey City is bullshit. That is bullshit. I call bullshit on it. And I'm mad. I'm furious because I'm actually never considered myself a conspiracy theorist. But these people think we stupid. The more I start thinking about the heavy artillery that was out there, I'm like, where do they have all these people? You mean to tell me on a daily basis, all of these people go to work? Oh, it's bullshit. First of all, it's pure bullshit. The cemetery is about 30 blocks away from the store. And I'm not even exaggerating this shit right now. The cemetery is about 30 blocks away from the store that they did. So between the cemetery and that store, you was able to get away. I'm so over that lie. I don't know what else to say other than there's a terrorist cell somewhere out here in the and they just don't want us to know about it. But the biggest terrorists are the people in uniform at some point in time, because once they get put in these combat situations, they have no regard for life. And I don't know if that's an up and coming, because they said that area, and this is what's interesting about that particular area is being hit by gentrification. So, and I never, I'm not gonna put ages on people, but yesterday when I pulled up the thing, we're in the office, we're like 50-year-old, and that's it. But we got an armed guard in my they retained an armed guard the day of this shit in the building. So if they put an armed guard in the lobby of the building, there is something going on that they're still not telling us, that we got a thing. And they sent out an email, if we want to be walked to our car, they will they will escort us. Um, just ask, and we could get escorted to our cars and stuff. So if something and last but not least, the helicopters are still flying over the area over there. And it's not just one helicopter, it's several helicopters in the air over there. So they are bullshitting us. And when I'll try to go live and see what's mama, like, come on now. A 50-year-old, please stop. Please stop. These people are much when it's terrorists. First of all, they attack. They have now identified a group to say that these people belong to that group and that they have hate. So now this is what's considered the hate group. Now I've listened to some white supremacist type people speak on this, and the white supremacist type people had the audacity to say it takes a while. Like, you know how we be saying, listen to this, we be like, white folks, we know it's a white folk committed this, right? And you know how we know this will be our first reaction. Well, that person must be white because he was alive. You know, they captured him. He managed to shoot a police officer and cause all this havoc, and they captured him. Right? That's the first thing that we say, right? So we just sit back and just wait for the news flash, and they show us this white face, and we be like, okay, see, that was a Caucasian did that, or somebody, you know, whatever, right? So these people, because I have to listen to the opposing conversation, they say, well, they take time calling it a hate crime when the person is of color, because of course people of color don't hate nobody. So I was in there, I said, damn Skippy, we got love for everybody. I was just like, y'all sound so stupid. People have pre-existing conditions about everything. And it has nothing to do with being white or black. It just has to do with how you feel about things. You have your own opinion system. They hate us because we're black. I'm gonna tell you something. Where I was sitting yesterday, that would make RBR correct. If you hang around those type of people and what they were spilling, they seem to dislike us. I would have to agree with that. Like, I would just have to agree with that, just based on this. But that whole Jersey City thing is not. I don't know what. I'm ready to go to. Not Al Jazeera TV, but I'm about to look at one of the other medias that is overseas to see what they're saying about this, because this thing don't make any sense. The open enemy has no logic or reasoning. You know, most time, Mr. Brown, I'll be like, all right, that's a little bit too radical for me, right? Y'all know how I get. I'll be like, all right, please, all right, let's cut it down, let's scale back. But this hits home. Not that I was afraid at any moment, because they didn't put us in a situation for us to be fearful. They didn't present it in a way for us to be fearful. They put it in a way I felt like I don't. Let me see if I can convey this correctly. I felt as if I should have been afraid, but I had no fear of the unknown. So you could just get swiped out and not know what happened to you. So it's equivalent, and I hope you can follow along with me, of me crossing the street one day and a car hitting me out of nowhere. It was so unexpected, but I should be expecting it. And that's what I'm reflecting on. So when you see me like pulling away in the next couple of days, is because I'm really doing some true reflection, because you cannot live in a society that has this many angers about you and your color, about you and the skin you're in, and walk around here and act oblivious to it, like, oh shit, yeah, I just live. Yeah, I'm just here. So there's no logic, and I don't believe there's logic in killing the innocent people. I don't believe that there's logic in. I would prefer, and this is how we've gone. So if we go back a couple years in Dubai, right? Or we look at other places where hotels were taken under hostages were taken at hotels, and malls were sieged. You didn't have the military type style response. Go in and kill those people. I mean, the innocent people, the people that were just shopping. Normally, the terrorists or whoever's holding the hostages did all of that. Normally, you would have a standoff between they're inside the place and the police are outside the place. No, these motherfuckers is like storming Norman, like they was in Afghanistan or something. We are in the United States of America. You people tell us there's a constitution here. So if we have the right and liberties of freedom, why are y'all not executing it? See, whenever they are so dead fast on taking out the cell, I fall back and say, why did you take out that person? Did they have I fall into the space of I start to think about the only person I know that was like he could be a hero here in New York is Larry Davis. And so when I see people taken out like this and in the manner that they did, it's as if they said we can't afford to have them speak. No, there was I in my opinion, I'm not, and you know what? I did that, and I'm gonna get me a cookie jar for that. People tend to do this on the YouTube. Miss G just said something, and I said no. It's not my right to say no to your opinion. And I'm gonna start working on that, because that's that shit that people do that I dislike. When I hear it in other people, I say, "Oh, I hope I don't do that." And now I just heard it in me, so I'm gonna correct that. Self-correction. They don't want to discuss the politics involved. Innocent people have always been killed without logic. I believe in this case there was logic. They had to take them out. They could not have them speak, because it's unspeakable from where that cemetery is to all the streets that they had to pass through, all the different stores and bodegas that they had to go beyond, all the different big stores or whatever that they had to go, that they ended up in that specific spot. Weird. It doesn't make sense. And that you only had one. And you only had one officer in the cemetery, but you want to tell us that this was a drug bust and a drug deal? No, you wasn't doing no drug dealing with them. You was doing something else. Y'all was doing some kind of thing, but it could not have been no drugs. It's not just a no to the opinion. It's like we have a habit of answering questions and doing that to each other. If you ask somebody a question, they'll answer you. And I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to my friend at the casino, and she pointed this out the other day. She was like, I can't. And I felt like she said it because I must have did it. So she was correcting me nicely. And I respect that. Because at the end of the day, if you respect the people around you, they are going to tell you the truth about yourself. Some people will find a nice way to tell you the truth, and that's the classy part of it. But yes, so I'm going to work on that. She didn't have to specifically say it to me. I caught on to it by the example she gave and stuff. So, oh, don't be embarrassed. Let me see. Politics leads to politics, which hasn't worked for us. Well, look at what they're doing right now. This is why the Agent Orange thing. I'm so against what I'm seeing here is because one, when you launch a campaign against something like wanting to impeach a person, you have to understand what the end goal should be. To impeach Trump, right? If it was successful, we end up with Pence. I don't know if we end up in a better position to have the problem is that they had no power in their leadership, because if they could have pinched Trump and this man had some shame, then they could have blackmailed him for his duration of term. When they did this impeachment for I'll go to Clinton, they knew he wasn't going to be removed from office, but the damage to his credibility was done. Hold on, I have to type this. I really have to do this right now. And that's it. I'm sorry. I had to. I am so sorry, but I'm so sorry. This person is reaching out to me, and their issue means a lot to me. So I just addressed that. But I'm so sorry to you guys. It took me off my focus, but I needed to say that. Oftentimes here on the YouTube, I have very good friendships with many of you, and I would take that same time with you. All right. With that being said, they could have did more with the Trump situation. They have no outcome. They already had egg in their face when they did the Mueller investigation, and they did whatever they did, and the outcome came like that. Take your L. All right, hold on a second. All right, I missed something in the chat. Who's saying the devil's in control? Let me make sure I get that out of y'all killing me. T, are you almost ready? Oh well, when you gonna tell me you're ready? You have logic, politics. All right, the politics is one thing. Peace to your brother. The Agent Orange is agenda. That Agent Orange agenda is crap. It is. I believe the devil is in control either way. All right. I will break down that. All right. I understand. This look at all those good looking people. The end goal was never to impeach Trump. That's exactly what it was, to make him look so bad he would not get reelected. But there is really nothing Trump did wrong. If this is the only way you could win a reelection is by shaming the person or believe, there's no shame in this man. That's the ill shit about it. I would have to agree with you. I would have to agree with you, Gab, that the devil is in control. Um, because the, so I'll have to explain that because I got a text, but I was into someone else, then someone else wrote me, and I had to go back in the chat and see what was being said. That's why I said context means everything. When you are God fearing individual, you may see the devil differently than the way we see the devils that pop up. So I do agree. Um, these demonic and evil people, um, as we view them, he is, and that is why this is so crazy. But anyway, I gotta go so I could get to work. But no, I don't even watch MSNBC. I haven't watched since the Kanika case started in 2017 September. I stopped watching Rachel Maddow. I stopped. The only gateway I have into Rachel Maddow is shout out to Evolve May, whatever Evolve May shares. I take it from her. I take it from her breakdown. He's going to get. He may be getting elected, and I think he's going to be reelected. I honestly think he's going to be reelected because there's going to be a cohort group of them that are going to be so upset that the people spent the money this way and that they spent resources and time and to go after him. They're going to come out in droves to vote while the rest of us have just been so turned off. And, if you're a thinking being, you're going to be like, I might not vote for none of these damn Democrats, period. What the turning point for me in this whole thing was when they started talking about the Biden campaign. They narrowed it down to one thing, or that was a focal point, and that's it. I agree, and the thing that gives us the boiling point to that being a correct statement or that being a foundation that we can start to that's a good standing point to begin a discussion, because that's a good standing point to begin a discussion because when we did have the president that most people of color, and I'm trying to word this politely, When we did have a president of color, he was still unable to do anything. He attempted, and I won't take that away from him, but the structures were already in place, and you needed to really implode those structures if you wanted to erect change. Where he could be effective, he tried. And that is the soundbite. Anyway, I will speak to you guys later. This is Mo. I have